The amount of games and total console sales the Nintendo Switch 2 has been able to do within the first year and some odd months is catching absolutely everyone off guard. Even when there was some issues when it comes to certain games, you're starting to see them double back and bring out products that are looking a lot better to the market so everyone can be able to play. And especially with the Nintendo Switch 2, a system that has a hybrid style where you can play on the TV and on the go. So I wanted to go over a number of interesting and exciting Nintendo Switch 2 AAA game updates that people are talking about quite a bit. Elden Ring, last time that we saw that last year, or more like just when people were talking about it the most last year, it was a laughing stock, and now it's turned into something that I think that is pretty presentable. We also have an update when it comes to the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which really kind of just feeds more into what I'm going to talk about with catching people off guard and what's happening with the Nintendo Switch 2 and the games that are coming out and how it's affecting what Nintendo normally does with a lot of their games. We also have a big update on Kingdom Hearts 4. More with that. That looks like it's going to be set, ready to go, so we got to talk about that and a bit more. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Okay, let's start off with Elden Ring Tarnished Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2. This game, once again, like I stated, was a laughing stock last year. It was lagging, it was framey, there was problems. It just wasn't an ideal version of the game, which kind of caught all of us off guard because we're thinking, wait a minute, hold up. This game was on the Xbox One, on the PlayStation 4. Nintendo Switch 2 is significantly stronger than those systems. It should be better than the Xbox One and the PS4. Well, not significantly stronger, but a good amount stronger, and to the point to where it is far more feasible with the technology. It's newer, it's got more RAM, it's just updated, you got DLSS. There's so many things in there that make it to where it is a good bit above from a, I would say, logical development standpoint in today's day. So there is no excuse, really what it comes down to, for this game to be running worse than what we saw on the Xbox One, which is by far, I would say maybe Switch 2 may be significantly stronger than that system. This should be running a lot better than what it is when we saw it last year. Now fast forward to this year, it's been a lot better. I think we saw it at GDC. I think it was GameSpot. They put out a video, handheld mode, and it was running pretty good from what we saw. Still not perfect, but pretty good. Now we have an updated look at the game. This is from Den Flamenco Gamer, and they talked about it recently and stated that there are no major frame rate issues that they can see. They're also showing off some footage. We've got docked gameplay and handheld gameplay that you are seeing here. And yeah, it looks like it's running good from what's going on here. It is 30 FPS, which is definitely not ideal. You would love to have 60 FPS, but even at 60 FPS on PlayStation 5, there are some issues with that 60 FPS. It's not hitting 60 FPS the full time. Actually, if you want the best version, I think you really have to get the PS4 version of the game, then run that backwards compatible through the PS5 system, and you might get the most stable frame rate out of all of that. So you have to go through some hoops and hurdles, even with a native PlayStation 5 version of the game. But right now, what we're seeing, pretty good for Elden Ring. The game is launching on August 28th, 2026, and I think that it's going to really surprise a lot of people with the amount of content that's in there. Now, the only thing that I don't like is that with the Switch 2 version, they're kind of doing a weird thing. Bandai Namco's being weird with this one because for some reason, they didn't separate the game. The Tarnished Edition comes with the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC jam-packed into the base game, whereas on Xbox and PlayStation, they have it separate. PC, you have it separate. You can buy just the base game, and then if you want, you can buy the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. But with the Switch 2, you have to kind of buy the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, and it's $80 for the game key card. Now, that is, I would say, a problem. I don't think that's consumer friendly. So unless you're someone that you know you're going to love and absolutely just say you're going to play tons of Elden Ring portable and home console docked, you want that experience, then I'd say, okay, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is a good pickup on Switch 2 day one, because that content is immense with that DLC Shadow of the Erdtree in there, all the updates and everything. But if you're someone that just wants to check it out, I don't know if $80 and being forced into it, which by the way, you can't access that Shadow of the Erdtree content until a certain specific point in the game, and I think you might even have to have the game beat or very close to that. I think that's a problem when it comes to just the general consumer maybe looking to get into Elden Ring on Switch 2. So I would say wait for a sale if you're in that camp. But if you're someone that you know you want it, you know you're going to enjoy it, you love Elden Ring on other platforms and you want that here portably, or if you know you're going to like the game because you like the Souls style of game, there's plenty of content for the price in there, because the DLC I think is $30 to $40 by itself. The game is still $60 on Xbox and PlayStation, so there's that. But we also have another update when it comes to the UK sales charts. And it kind of feeds into what I was saying, not necessarily going over the UK sales charts being some type of bastion of big sales for physical, because it's not, but kind of going into the Switch 2 catching people off guard, because it's become more of a third-party system. Maybe what some people were expecting. Oblivion, #1 on the US eShop here, and also in UK, #1 on the sales charts there, shooting all the way up to the top. But even if you look at the top 4 games, Mario Kart World, Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, Pokemon Pocopia, back to the top there, #3, down it's #2, and of course the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, and it came back into the top charts because of the Switch 2 physical release, which people are scalping right now. There's some issues there with the Bethesda releases, but there's going to be reprints. You don't need to go out there and spend $100 to $200 on a cartridge, because it's full-on cart, in addition to full-on cart for Indiana Jones. When it comes to the Switch 2 versions from Bethesda, people are picking up a variety of different games on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that's the big thing, that's the difference. Some people talk about, okay, well, how is this game selling, or how is this game selling from Nintendo, whether it's Metroid Prime 4, or it's Mario Tennis, or it's Star Fox, and all those games are going to sell decently over time. They're all going to just pick up their sales when they pick up their sales. But the big difference between the Switch 1 and what we saw with the first-party games like Mario Tennis there, or like other titles that were more quick to maybe get up to sales, there were far less games to choose from. The competition is ferocious on the Nintendo Switch 2 compared to the Nintendo Switch 1. There are so many more games. There are so many more quality third-party games. I mean, if you go back and you look at the Switch 1's third-party games, it was a joke for quite some time. Up until I think November of 2017, they finally started getting some decent third-party games like Skyrim, and it's into Doom 2016. But even then, that still does not compare to the onslaught of first and third party games the Nintendo Switch 2 has been getting since it dropped. Day one had way more. The best game at the launch for the Nintendo Switch 1, day one, was Super Bomberman R from a third party perspective that Nintendo had no involvement in. So I do think that it's a significantly bigger pool that people have access to. Then on top of that, you have the backwards compatibility where people are still buying games like Super Smash Brothers and playing on their Nintendo Switch 2s. So I do think that the Switch 2 offers a significantly better, bigger experience, and that's better for all of us as gamers. We get more games, we get better quality games, and I think that it's going way better than what anybody could have even imagined for the Nintendo Switch 2, considering the amount of games that are coming out and the pace of games that are coming out first party and third party wise. Even just this August, stuff like Lies of P, we still have Elden Ring, there's all sorts of stuff coming out. Final Fantasy 14 just dropped. All these games are kind of sprinkled throughout the top eShop sellers. You'll see them in the retail here and there. We'll see what happens with the Famitsu in Japan this week. So there's a lot of good stuff coming, and it's exciting because, once again, it is something that people did not expect at a level at this point with the Nintendo Switch 2. All right, let's get into Kingdom Hearts 4, another surprising game that people maybe didn't expect would be on the Nintendo Switch 2, at least not day and date. And we got to talk about this because the big man himself, Tetsuya Nomura, says that Kingdom Hearts 4 will not get delayed. And I wanted to emphasize this. I know I talked about it before, but I wanted to emphasize this. We've got 2 bits of information plus a big sales update with this, because last time that I talked about it, I don't think that they confirmed everything with the sales now that they have, and now they have. So shout outs to Genki over on Twitter, and he says Tetsuya Nomura says Kingdom Hearts 4 will not get delayed from 2027. He says that he saw comments online that the game will get delayed from 2027, but he wants to set the record straight and say that will not happen. He says that he is going back to Tokyo tomorrow, and the mastered version is progressing much faster than he had imagined, so it will not be delayed, and to please look forward to it. So this is very positive news. People were freaking out about this because late 2027, what's happening in early 2028? Well, PlayStation is saying adios, sayonara to physical games. January 2028, they're just saying goodbye to them. So that right there has got a lot of people on edge. People like their physical games. It does not matter what Sony and their cohorts online say about nobody's buying physical games. They still sell millions of copies of physical games. When offered physical, people tend to buy them. Square Enix in particular has a super high rate of physical game consumption when it's offered physical. Even despite what Square Enix says, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was proof of that. It showed that a high amount of people were buying that. So yes, most games are digital. Most of their stuff is going to be a lot of their digital Final Fantasy games and old school titles and stuff is, and that's okay. But people still want their physical games. That's why I think it's very important that this game does not get delayed past 2027. Like, and if it does get delayed, it better be like January 1st, 2028, and it better not go past then, because then we don't get a physical copy on the PlayStation 5. We cannot count on Square Enix when it comes to a physical copy on the Nintendo Switch 2. They've been doing all game key cards for Switch 2. I don't think there is a single on-cart physical game from Square Enix on Switch 2 at this point. Now, maybe they are waiting for that install base to go up to where they feel that it's worth it, but I do think that if Square Enix actually did more physical on-cart games when they can, I think they'd be doing better. Now, there are some exceptions. They have talked about that, how when it comes to their streaming technology for games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy VII Remake, it'd be tougher to do, which, okay, I get that, especially with Rebirth and with Revelation. Kingdom Hearts 4 could be in the same boat here, but I'm hoping that they actually get some more physical on-cart versions, maybe for some other games. Like, there's more sizes now. I know it's way more expensive, but hopefully they do that, but I'm not banking on it. So really the only hope, I guess, would be Xbox and PlayStation when it comes to Kingdom Hearts and there being a real physical version, but most people aren't buying Kingdom Hearts on Xbox. That's a PlayStation 5 type of game. You want those haptics, dual sense features and all of that, which they do a great job, Square Enix does with that. So it is good. It is good that they're opting to make sure that it does not get delayed. And I think that it's going to be a great game. They've had their time, man. They went silent for like 4 years. They've had a good amount of time to make the game. So we don't need a repeat of what happened with Kingdom Hearts 3, where that was like a 10-year development cycle or something stupid. But okay, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts a bit more, because Kingdom Hearts is rolling when it comes to sales. They talk about this being a billion-dollar franchise, Square Enix and Disney does. Well, looks like the numbers are now backing that up, because the Kingdom Hearts franchise, according to Square Enix, has sold more than 39 million units worldwide since its debut on the PlayStation 2 all the way back in 2002. I remember it like it was yesterday. Man, it was a long time ago, 20 plus years ago, but it was a magical time in gaming. The 6th generation was popping. People were excited. There was GameCube, Xbox, PS2, everything was physical. Digital games started kind of dropping in from Xbox Live Arcade. You had all variety in different types. The 6th generation is one of my favorite generations of all time. I think it's one of the best gaming generations. And that's where the Kingdom Hearts franchise started, was on the PlayStation 2 then. They branched out to other systems, the GBA and the Nintendo DS and the 3DS and Xbox and PlayStation. And now at this point, we're all the way full circle to about 40 million units, and that's going to actually be well above 40 million units, because what is happening this year, we've got the collection that's coming natively, no actual physical cartridge, but that's okay. There's a ton of these games that wouldn't fit on there anyway, but we do have a game key card. I think that's going to be coming. It's all going to be running on the system itself, so that's what you want to see. So I would expect that 40 million plus for the franchise very soon, if it's not already there, because people are pre-ordering and picking up past Kingdom Hearts games now that we got this big extended trailer that you guys are checking out right here, and we got more information on Kingdom Hearts 4. People are going back and checking out the previous games, so I do believe that Kingdom Hearts is going to be well past 40 million units, and by the time that Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, when that launches, if that's a good game, man, it's going to explode. I expect Kingdom Hearts 4 to sell 10 million units plus. I think it's going to get in that range. 10 million, maybe even more. The Switch 2 is booming right now. By then, late 2027, I mean, you're maybe looking at around 50 million units sold for Switch 2 if everything goes according to the plan. By the end of 2027, it does seem like 50 million units plus for the Switch 2 is very doable. So you're going to get a lot of sales on there. You're obviously going to get a lot of sales on the PlayStation 5. That has a big install base, so it's going to be pretty good. And of course, there's going to be the PC base there too that plays Kingdom Hearts. So I'm looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm looking forward to seeing how much bigger and better this franchise is going to continue doing, as somebody that's been playing the games for 20 plus years now. So what do you think when it comes to everything that we talked about here with this big AAA games update and more? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click the notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.